His hands were trembling when he grabbed my arm. I didn't expect that. Not from a guy who looked so put together, like he ironed his soul every morning before leaving the house. But right then, standing under the glow of the flickering street lamp, soaked from the rain, Alex Taylor held me like I was his last hope. "Please," he whispered, "just pretend to be mine." I stepped closer, water sliding down my neck. His breath hitched when I leaned in. Our noses brushed. I didn't kiss him. Not yet. But I wanted to. More than I should have. "If I'm gonna play your boyfriend," I murmured against his lips, "you're gonna have to act like you want me." His lips parted. His pupils blew wide. He didn't move away. And just like that, the game started. Want more slow burn tension, fake dating chaos, and scenes that feel too real to be pretend? Then buckle up. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. Let's continue. I wasn't looking for drama. Not that night, at least. I had just finished up a long shift at Inkdrop, my uncle's tattoo shop, when I stepped out into the rain, lit a cigarette, and spotted him. Alex Taylor, college boy, neatly tucked hair, baby blue cardigan, soft eyes that didn't belong in a place like this. He was standing under the awning across the street, staring at me like he'd just found water in the desert. He looked scared. I exhaled smoke and met his gaze. "You lost." He shook his head, water dripping from his dark lashes. "No, I was looking for you. That was new." I leaned against the brick wall, arms crossed. Most people don't say that to me with their voice still trembling. He stepped forward like it took all his courage. "I need a favor, and I'll pay you." My eyebrow twitched. "You want a tattoo?" "No." "A fight?" "No." I laughed under my breath. "A hookup?" His face flushed, but he didn't answer. "Interesting. I need you to pretend to be my boyfriend." I stared. He continued quickly, the words spilling out. "It's just for a while. There's this guy. He won't leave me alone. I've blocked him, reported him. He still shows up at my class, at my part-time job, even outside my apartment. I told him I was seeing someone, and now I need to prove it." I took a slow drag from my cigarette and let the silence hang between us. "So you thought of me?" I asked. "I remembered you." He avoided my gaze. "You used to be in my economics class. You made fun of the professor, then dropped out halfway." Damn, I didn't think he even noticed me. He looked at me again. "You're scary enough." I huffed. "Flattered." "I'll pay you," he repeated. "Please, just pretend. Go on dates with me. Maybe show up when he's watching." "And what if I kiss you in public?" I asked. He hesitated. "Then I guess I'll kiss you back." That shouldn't have made me this curious. But it did. I agreed. Don't ask me why. Maybe it was the way his hands trembled when he handed me his number. Or the way he looked at me like I was the answer to a prayer he didn't want to say out loud. Either way, the next night I found myself outside a cute little cafe downtown, waiting like a damn high schooler. And there he was, Alex Taylor in a soft gray sweater, slim jeans that hugged his thighs, and eyes that searched for me like I was his lifeline. When he saw me, his whole face relaxed. "Thank you for coming," he said breathlessly. I opened the door for him. "Might as well see how good I look pretending to be yours." He blushed so hard I almost laughed. It started innocent. We sat close. I touched his hand, brushed his hair from his eyes, smiled like I was in love with him. But the moment the stalker walked past the cafe window, I felt Alex's hand tighten around mine like a vice. I turned to him, his whole body tensed. He was scared, so I didn't hesitate. I leaned in and pressed a soft kiss to his jaw. I didn't ask. I didn't warn him. I just did it. Because whoever that guy was, I wanted him to see exactly who Alex belonged to now. Alex's breath caught. His cheeks burned. But he didn't pull away. "You okay?" I whispered, my hand on his knee under the table. He nodded. "Better now." The real danger started when we left the cafe. He asked me to walk him home. Halfway there, it began to rain. Hard, pounding against the street like a movie scene. He shrieked and covered his head with his hands. I grabbed his wrist and pulled him into a narrow alley beside a bookstore, under a metal awning. It barely covered us. He was soaked, shivering. His hair clung to his face, his sweater see-through with rain. "Jesus, you're freezing," I muttered, pulling off my leather jacket and putting it over his shoulders. He looked up at me. "Why are you being nice?" he asked quietly. I stepped closer. "You want me to be mean?" He shook his head. Our eyes locked. There was no one around. Just the rain. Just us. He reached up and touched my chest, just above my heart. "Do you do this with all the guys you pretend to date?" I leaned in until our lips were a breath apart. "You're the first." And then I kissed him. Not soft. Not fake. His mouth opened under mine like he'd been waiting for it. Like he was hungry for something real. I held his face in my hands. He wrapped his arms around my neck. It was wet, cold, but his kiss burned. And for that 1 second, I forgot it was all pretend. When we pulled apart, he was breathless. His lips red and swollen. His eyes dazed. I wiped a drop of rain from his cheek. "Convincing enough?" He swallowed. "Too convincing." Later, at his apartment door, he didn't say a word for a while. I turned to leave. "River," he said suddenly, his voice shaky. "If I ever forget this is fake, remind me." I paused, then turned back and said, "You're the only one pretending, Alex." And I walked away. He wasn't mine, but that didn't stop me from pulling him closer like he was. I had my hand on his lower back, sliding down slightly, just enough to make him shiver. His cheeks were flushed, his lips parted. Those soft, nervous lips that had kissed me back so eagerly last night. Alex Taylor was standing in the middle of his university courtyard, and I was holding him like I had the right. All eyes were on us, especially his, the stalker, and I didn't give a damn. I wanted him to see. "Smile," I whispered against Alex's ear. "Your boyfriend's watching." Alex smiled, but it trembled. I pressed a kiss to the corner of his mouth. Not a real kiss, not like the one in the rain, but it was enough to make the girls walking by gasp and whisper. Enough to make the creep lurking near the vending machine scowl and walk away. I held Alex until I couldn't see the guy anymore. Only then did I ease my hand off his waist. "Thanks," he mumbled, brushing his hair from his face. "You didn't have to touch me so much." I raised an eyebrow. "You want this to look fake?" "No, He looked down. "Never mind." He didn't finish the sentence. But he didn't step away from me either. Later that day, he texted me, "Alex, can we hang out again tomorrow?" He showed up near my apartment. Didn't come close, but, "Me, I'll be there." "Alex, you don't have to." "Me, I want to." "Alex. Alex." Okay. I stared at that last text for longer than I should have. The next night, I showed up at his apartment again. No rain this time, just warm city lights and a full moon overhead. He answered the door in joggers and a thin, long-sleeved shirt that hugged his body in all the right places. "Sorry," he said, pulling at his sleeve. "I wasn't expecting you this early." "You expecting someone else?" I teased. His lips twitched. "Just food delivery." I stepped in and kicked off my boots. "I brought something better." He blinked. "What?" I pulled out a bottle of wine from the bag I carried. "Liquid courage." He laughed soft, warm. "You think I need courage to fake date you?" I walked closer. "Maybe I need it." His smile faded just a bit. "You don't have to try so hard. It's already believable." Believable. I looked at him for a long moment. "Then let's keep the act going." He raised a brow. "Here. We're supposed to be dating, aren't we? You think your stalker only watches from the street?" He blinked. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying let's give your neighbors something to talk about." Before he could answer, I grabbed his hand and pulled him to the living room. I sat down on the couch, leaned back, and patted my lap. He hesitated. "You scared?" He narrowed his eyes and sat on me. Straddled me. God help me. I kept my hands on his hips. Light at first, but firm enough to make him feel it. His eyes were wide, nervous, but he didn't move. He was playing his part. But so was I, right? "You're good at this," he whispered, looking down at me. "Too good?" I asked. He nodded, and I saw something flicker in his gaze. like he didn't know where the line was anymore, like he wasn't sure if we'd already crossed it. My hands slid under his shirt. He gasped, "River, shoo!" I said, voice low, "Just pretend." He bit his lip. I touched his skin, soft, warm, addictive. My thumbs brushed over his sides, and he closed his eyes. His breath hitched. I could feel the tension in his body, the need he was too scared to voice. "You're shaking," I said softly. "I'm not used to this," he murmured. "To what?" "Being wanted." My chest tightened. I sat up a little straighter, making him lean into me. "You're not just wanted, Alex. You're mine." He froze. "Just for now," I added. But we both knew it didn't feel like just anything. We never talked about what happened on the couch that night. He fell asleep on my shoulder. I carried him to his room, tucked him into bed, and left without a word. I should have walked away then, but I didn't. The next few days blurred into something dangerous. We met for lunch. I showed up at his classes. He'd reach for my hand without thinking. I'd kiss his temple when people stared. I'd pull him into me when his stalker was nearby. But even when he wasn't, I didn't stop. I liked the way Alex felt in my arms. I liked the way he melted into me like he belonged there. And he liked it too. Friday night, he invited me to a party. His classmates were throwing it. He didn't want to go alone. Said the guy might be there. When we arrived, the music was loud, the lights low. I wrapped an arm around Alex's waist and leaned down. "You okay?" He nodded. "You're mine tonight," I whispered. "No matter who's watching." He swallowed and nodded again. An hour in, he was tipsy, flushed, eyes glassy, laughing too hard at dumb jokes. I liked seeing him this way, relaxed, happy. But then I saw him. The guy, tall, wiry, face too calm, eyes too sharp. He was watching Alex like a hawk. I pulled Alex close and whispered, "He's here." Alex tensed. "I've got you," I said, and then I kissed him. Not a fake kiss, not a soft one, a real hard claiming kiss, right in the middle of the party, with music pounding and eyes on us. Alex gasped into my mouth, but he kissed me back, hungry, desperate. His fingers tangled in my hair. His body pressed to mine like he wanted to crawl inside my skin. When we broke apart, I growled against his neck. "You're mine. No one else gets to look at you like that." "River," he whispered, voice shaky. "You're not pretending anymore." I stepped back slowly, heart racing. "Neither are you." We left early. Didn't say goodbye. Didn't even care who saw. Back at his apartment, he stood near the door, watching me like he didn't know who I was anymore. Like he didn't know who he was anymore. "Why are you doing this?" he asked, voice low. "Doing what?" "Touching me like I matter." I walked to him slowly. "You do." "This isn't real," he said. "Then why does it feel like it is?" He opened his mouth, closed it again. "This was supposed to be pretend." I nodded. "And now it's not." Silence. Then, softly, he asked, "Do you want me?" I walked right up to him, touched his cheek, brushed my thumb over his bottom lip. "I want you, Alex. Every version of you. Scared, brave, messy, soft. All of it." He inhaled sharply. "Then take me." I didn't ask again. I kissed him. And this time, it wasn't for anyone else to see. Not for a crowd. Not for a stalker. Not for a show. It was just for us. Alex's fingers were in my hair. Not resting. Not shy. Gripping. Pulling. Like he'd been waiting forever to do this, and maybe he had. We stumbled into his apartment. His back hitting the door with a soft thud as I pinned him there. Mouths locked. Breath tangled. He tasted like whiskey and trouble. His tongue flicked against mine in a way that made my head spin. Every sound he made went straight to my chest, raw, soft, needy, and none of it felt fake anymore. His hands slid beneath my shirt. Mine gripped the hem of his. Our bodies pressed too close to think straight. Somewhere in the haze, I remembered this wasn't supposed to happen. Not like this, not with hearts involved. But damn it, I didn't want to stop. And neither did he. The night started off innocent, like all dangerous nights do. We were supposed to stay in and lay low. His idea. He wanted to forget about the stalker, the pretending, the tension. Said he had wine and pizza and some stupid movie queued up. I knocked around 8 o'clock. Alex opened the door wearing an oversized hoodie, hair messy, eyes soft. He looked like home. "Come in," he said, biting his lip. "I already started drinking." I chuckled. "You trying to lower your defenses?" "I don't need alcohol for that," he muttered. I almost didn't catch it, but I did. We started with wine. 1 glass, 2, then 3. He laughed easily tonight, sat closer than usual, let his knee touch mine and didn't pull away. We watched something with explosions and cheesy lines, but neither of us could focus. Not with the way his fingers brushed mine on the couch. Not with the way his eyes kept dropping to my lips. By the 4th glass, he turned to me, pupils wide. "Why are you still here?" he asked softly. I blinked. "What do you mean?" "You could have said no. Walked away the night I asked you to pretend. But you didn't. Because I didn't want to." His throat bobbed. "You confuse me." "How?" He looked away. "You're supposed to be dangerous. But you take care of me." "I am dangerous," I whispered, leaning closer. "You just make me soft." His lips parted. I didn't give him time to speak. I kissed him. It wasn't our first kiss, but it felt like the first one that mattered. He kissed me back immediately, hands clutching my shirt, pulling me closer. We forgot the movie, forgot the wine, forgot the reason we started this in the first place. It was just heat and skin and hunger. "I shouldn't want this," he whispered against my mouth. "Then stop me." He didn't. We made it halfway down the hallway before our clothes started coming off. His hoodie landed on the floor. My shirt was tugged over my head. We kissed like we were starving. Like we couldn't get close enough, couldn't feel enough. "God, River," he gasped when I kissed down his neck. "You make it so hard to think." "Good," I growled. "Thinking is overrated." He laughed. It was breathless, shaky, beautiful. We crashed into his bedroom, our legs tangled in the blankets as we fell onto the mattress. He pulled me down with him, fingers digging into my shoulders. "I thought I was just another job," he whispered. I looked into his eyes. "You never were." His breath hitched. "So what is this?" I kissed his lips gently, slowly, before saying, "It's me forgetting where the act ends." We didn't sleep. Not really. We talked between kisses, touched between words. At some point, his hand found mine, and he laced our fingers together like it meant something. Like I meant something. "Do you regret this?" he asked quietly around 3 a.m. I was lying beside him, shirtless, arm around his waist. I turned my face to him. "No," he exhaled. "Not even a little? I only regret waiting this long." He didn't respond, just buried his face into my neck. Morning came like a slap. Bright sunlight, ringing phone, reality. Alex groaned and sat up, hair sticking out in all directions. I stayed in bed, arms behind my head, watching him scramble for his phone on the floor. "Who is it?" I asked. He glanced at the screen and winced. "My mom," I chuckled. "She check in often?" "Only when she's bored." He silenced the call and looked at me. Really looked at me. His smile faded. "River," that tone. I didn't like it. "What?" "Last night. We crossed a line." I sat up. "Yeah, we did. And I'm not sorry." He looked down. "I am." I blinked. "What?" "I mean, I'm not saying I didn't want it. I did. Every second of it. But this, whatever this is, it's not what we agreed on." I stood up, pulling on my shirt. "So what? It didn't mean anything to you?" "No, it meant too much. That's the problem." I stared at him. "So now you're pushing me away?" He wrapped the blanket tighter around his body like it could protect him. "I can't fall for someone who doesn't do feelings." "Who says I don't?" He looked shocked. "I didn't fake last night, Alex," I said, voice low. "And I don't think you did either." Silence stretched between us. Then he whispered, "You scare me." "Why?" "Because I don't know how to stop wanting you." I stepped closer, cupping his cheek. Then don't. His eyes fluttered shut. What happens when this ends? I didn't have an answer, because I didn't want it to end. We didn't talk for 2 days. I didn't text him. He didn't call me. I thought maybe I'd overstepped. Maybe I made him feel something he wasn't ready for. But then he showed up at the tattoo shop, unannounced, wearing that same damn gray hoodie, looking like sin and heartbreak rolled into one. I missed you, he said. That was all. And suddenly, I wasn't mad anymore. He walked into the shop like he belonged there. My heart skipped. Alex stood at the doorway, eyes searching, hands in the pocket of that soft gray hoodie that had become his armor. His hair was messy, his cheeks a little flushed. He looked like he hadn't slept well in days. Neither had I. We hadn't talked since that night. The night we stopped pretending. The night I held him like he was mine and kissed him like I never wanted to let him go. Then he pulled away. Now here he was again. I missed you, he said, voice quiet but clear over the buzz of needles and chatter. I froze midline on a client's arm. My hands tightened slightly on the machine. I'll be back in 5, I muttered and stepped away. I didn't care that it wasn't break time. I didn't care that every other artist at Inkdrop looked at me like I'd grown a second head. I didn't even care that my client was glaring. I walked straight into the back room with Alex following silently behind. When I turned to face him, my chest ached. God, I missed that stupid face. You could have called, I said. He looked down. I didn't think you'd pick up. Why not? Because I said things I didn't mean. His voice cracked, and I've regretted it every hour since. I crossed my arms, leaning against the table. So you came here to say sorry? He stepped closer. No, I came here because I still want you. My breath caught. You said this was all pretend. I reminded him, voice lower now. Are you changing the rules again? I want to throw out the rules, he whispered. Say it plainly, Alex. He looked up, eyes glassy. I'm not pretending anymore. Not about any of it. I stared at him, waiting, wanting, needing to hear the rest. I want you, River, he said. Not just in public. Not just for protection. I want to fall asleep next to you. Wake up to your stupid bed hair. Kiss you when no one's watching. I want to call you mine. My throat tightened. You're not scared anymore? I still am, he said, stepping into my space. But I'm more scared of not trying. I didn't wait another second. I kissed him. There in the back room, between shelves of ink bottles and leather chairs, I kissed him like I hadn't eaten in days. His fingers curled into my shirt, and I held him tight against me. He felt like coming home. Later that night, we sat on the couch in his apartment, fingers laced. No distractions. No wine. No pretense. Just us. You okay? I asked. He nodded. Better now. I ran my thumb over the back of his hand. You know, it started off fake, but the feelings weren't. I know. We sat in silence for a while. Then he added, he hasn't been around lately. The stalker. That's good. Do you think it's because of you? I grinned. Probably. I'm not exactly soft and fluffy. Alex laughed. You're not as scary as you think. Oh yeah. I leaned in. Want me to prove otherwise? He blushed. Shut up. But his smile didn't fade. It should have ended there. Should have been peaceful. Sweet. The happy moment we'd both earned. But it didn't last. Because 2 days later, everything blew up. It happened at a campus event. Some spring fundraiser. Alex invited me, his way of showing people we were together. No more fake labels. No more hiding. We were standing near the punch table, holding hands, laughing about how terrible the music was, when someone behind us said my name. River. I turned around and nearly groaned. Mason. Tall, smug, sharp-jawed Mason. My ex. The guy I dumped a year ago when I found him in bed with someone else. He'd always hated seeing me happy, even more when he knew it wasn't about him. Didn't expect to see you here, he said. Fake smile plastered on his face. With him. Alex's hand tensed in mine. I squeezed it gently. We're together, I said plainly. Mason raised a brow. Really? Since when? Since it stopped being your business. Ouch, he said, just wondering if he knows the truth. Alex's eyes narrowed. What truth? That this was a deal, Mason said, smirking. Aren't you the guy who paid River to pretend to be your boyfriend? I overheard you bragging about it last week. Something about making your stalker jealous. Alex went pale. I stepped forward. Mason, shut the hell up. But Alex had already let go of my hand. You told someone? He asked me, voice shaking. No, I didn't tell anyone. I only told one person. He must have. He stopped, eyes wide. Oh God, I told Megan. She must have. His hands were trembling again. Alex, listen to me. But he was already walking away. I found him outside, sitting on the campus steps, hunched over, hands in his hair. I sat beside him quietly. For a minute we said nothing. Then he muttered, "This is humiliating." No, it's not. Yes, it is. I paid you to fake date me, and now everyone knows. They think I had to buy someone to care. I turned to him. Screw what they think. You didn't buy anything. We started with a deal, sure. But this is real. His voice broke. Is it? I grabbed his hand again. Alex, I didn't kiss you because of the deal. I didn't hold you when you were scared because you asked me to. I did all of that because I wanted to. Because I care about you. Tears slipped from his lashes. I'm not leaving, I whispered. Not now. Not ever. He leaned against me. Even if people laugh? Let them. What if they talk? Let them. What if they're right? I tilted his chin up. Then let me prove them wrong. And I kissed him. Right there on the steps. In front of everyone. The next few days were rough. People whispered. Some stared. But something changed. We stopped hiding. We walked down the halls holding hands. We kissed when we felt like it. He came to Ink Drop and waited for me after work. I brought him lunch during his classes. The fake part of our relationship vanished. And the real part? It only got stronger. One night, I found him cooking in my kitchen, wearing nothing but one of my oversized shirts. He was humming, dancing a little. I stood there, watching him, heart stupid and full. Are you gonna stand there like a creep or help me stir the pasta? He asked, grinning. I walked up behind him, wrapped my arms around his waist, and whispered, I think I love you. He froze, then turned. You think. I know I love you, I corrected. But I wanted to say it smooth. He laughed, eyes wet. Try again. I leaned in, pressing my forehead to his. I love you, Alex. From the moment you asked me to pretend to be yours, I've been yours. He kissed me softly. I love you too, he said. Even when you're not pretending. The end. If you enjoyed River and Alex's messy, steamy, beautiful journey, from a lie to something real, like, comment, and share this episode with your fellow BL lovers.